Always exciting to have a day with as many preseason games as today, but honestly, right before I went live here, I began to get a little sad, realizing that, you know what, we don't have that many days left of drafting these teams. So it's bittersweet. Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely excited for football to get here, but y'all know I freaking love drafting fantasy football teams. Will say the Flock League is exactly 1 week from today. So what we're going to do in this live stream is first we're going to get in a $10 Flock community contest. Again, these are drafts that drop every Friday night, Sunday night, and Tuesday nights. $10 buy-in, 10K for first, the 5K for second, all the way down the line. Y'all kicked my butt in these last year. Y'all probably do it again this year. So we're going to first draft in the Flock community contest. Then afterwards, what we are going to do is we are going to go ahead and get in a $250 underdog draft. I'm actually already sitting there waiting in that lobby, but we need 7 more people. And then I'm going to get in a regular redraft mock draft league on flockfantasy.com. So big day today. Obviously, we have a ton of games. We actually got to see JJ McCarthy for a bit already, but let me know how y'all are doing. Thank you, everyone, for coming out. And yes, early stream today. That is true. We got Nice and Blunt in this draft with us at pick 3. Happy to have you, my friend. And let's see. Jamar Chase off the board here at pick 1. And yes, we'll be drafting Trevion Henderson at the 1-2 turn after what happened yesterday. And Jackson Dart looked pretty good as well. So we have Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, CeeDee Lamb. It is funny that just like the top 6 picks in fantasy drafts this year, they've changed so much. Like literally you could go ahead and you could take a snapshot from like once at the very beginning of May when we were starting these drafts, then at the very beginning of June, then at the very beginning of July. And now that we're in August, the consensus top 6 players have changed quite a lot. It's like you just keep Chase at 1 and then shuffle 2 through 6 over and over again. Brian Thomas off the board at 8. I would love to say, oh, we get some massive faller, but in reality, both Malik Neighbors and Puka Nacua have concerns. I'm going to take Puka and just send up a prayer that Matthew Stafford is good to go. But thank you, everybody, hanging out. Tex says that Trevion Henderson just went to pick 37 in an underdog draft that he is in. And yeah, I'm probably not taking him there. I will be out on him if that's the new cost. HN goes to pick 11. Yeah, Dart did look good, but just in case y'all have not seen, let me make sure I put y'all on here. Don't all of a sudden get really excited to start taking Jackson Dart in round 18 of these underdog drafts. As obviously Underdog has NFL season-long projected pick'ems. And last I saw, they had Jackson Dart like higher, lower 4.5 games started. They actually took that down. Maybe they are more confident that Dart's going to start at this point. But I will not be taking any round 18 Jackson Dart. But maybe get a little more excited about Malik Neighbors if you think there's somebody there that can save him. Drake London goes right before us. We're on the clock. I will just take Derrick Henry. These Flock tournaments, you really need to make sure that you're scoring a lot of points weeks 1 through 14 because you're only going to have one team in this 12-team draft make it to the fantasy football playoff tournament. So with that in mind, even if Derrick Henry's old and crusty, like week 1 of my rankings, he's going to be ranked as a borderline top 5 running back, right? So we'll go ahead. We'll take him at 16. Am I super excited to do it? No, not really, but I'm not going to be stubborn about it. Jess asking if we're planning to do another $10 draft after this. So the Flock community tournaments, you can only do 3 of these drafts per tournament that drops. Obviously, like I said, tournaments drop every Friday night, every Sunday night, and every Tuesday night. But last night, I had already done 2 of these drafts. So this is the last $10 Flock Community Tournament number 4 that I can get in. What we're going to get in after this one will be the $250 draft, and then we'll do a mock draft on flockfantasy.com. But obviously, if y'all wanted to get in a draft with us, it's not too late. Again, Underdog is not going to replace your main fantasy football league. That's what's great about it. It's best ball. It takes no time at all during the season. You draft your team, your rosters are locked, and your best starting lineups automatically submitted for you at the end of every single week. So you can draft a couple teams, have some extra fun, and still care about the main team you draft. So obviously, if you wanted to get in a draft with us, I always leave the link in the description, comment section, live chat. The link is the one that says draft with us here. And if you use promo code FLOCK, you will get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, you will get all of our 2025 fantasy football rankings and draft guide cheat sheets, which will be updated for you every single week until the season starts. And if you wanted to take advantage of that, you do need to be in one of these states. These are the states where Underdog Fantasy operates in. So you can see the map here. Joseph says, until tomorrow, the Flock 5 will drop at 8 p.m. Yeah, there's going to be another Flock tournament that drops tomorrow night. And we'll obviously get in more $10 drafts tomorrow night. Amari and Hampton off the board. We're going to take Josh Allen. Why the hell would I do anything else? We'll take Josh Allen. We're just going to get a ridiculous amount of points through the course of the entire season. Like Josh Allen for the past 5 years hasn't finished lower than the QB3 in points per game. George Kittle off the board at pick 34. NBA Pro says, in ESPN, who would you rather take, Bijan or Jamar? 101. So let me make sure that y'all are on the same page with like how we are structuring these sheets and rankings, because to determine if you're taking Bijan or Jamar Chase at the 101, it doesn't matter if you're on ESPN. It doesn't matter if you're on Sleeper, Yahoo. It doesn't matter. So let me just show y'all how the sausage is made with all the draft sheets. So this sheet 1, right? 10-team ESPN PPR start 7. And this sheet 13, 10-team PPR start 7, but it's on Sleeper. I am not adjusting my ranking based off ESPN or Sleeper. My ranking is adjusted off the section of this that's at the 10-team PPR start 7 format. That's where I'm adjusting my individual rankings. And then real quick, let me see. We're going to take Mike Evans, play catch-up at wide receiver. We only have 1 through the first 3 rounds. Where the platform comes into play is we are putting the platform ADP right there to average it out and come up with the power ranking in the order that you should take these players. So like you telling me I play on ESPN versus I play on Sleeper, that's not going to have as big of an impact on me if I want Jamar Chase or Bijan Robinson as it would if you told me it's a 10-team league, half PPR, where we start a total of 8 offensive players. Like then there, we'd have to go through and check out that specific sheet. Okay. We have George Pickens off. Again, once you go Puka, you have some flexibility to not have to take wide receiver rounds 2 and 3, but we go with the anchor running back. We get the elite quarterback on an elite QB build. You really need to make sure you take your wide receivers before just they completely fall off. PBR Tyler says, have you adjusted your ranking since Jahmyr Gibbs changed his number to 0? I didn't even see that, my friend. So thank you. That would have been so damn embarrassing if I did not adjust my rankings for that. Thank you for keeping me up to date, and we'll make sure we get those edits in. Now, Chuba Hubbard off the board at pick 49. Dom says, did you just wake up? This is something I need to talk to y'all about, all right? I'm freaking exhausted. And y'all know during this season, I make 2 videos a day. I don't make them. I record them. The editor makes them. and we live stream for like 4 hours a day answering questions. And I've done that every day, every year for like the past 4 years now. I don't know how I'm going to have the energy for it. Right now, I am making one video a day and streaming for about an hour and a half, 2 hours every day with fantasy drafts. And it's grinding me down. Like, we'll see. I know one of these years, realistically, the nightly live Q&As, I'm not going to be able to do forever. We're going to take Jalen Waddle, another underdog tournament. You could take, actually, never mind. Hunter wasn't available for us there. I was going to say you could take Hunter knowing that he would have a higher ceiling in weeks 15 through 17. But I actually like Waddle in the flock tournament in particular, because I think we could start getting points right at the beginning of the season, where these other rookies or like a Rashee Rice are going to have to wait till the end of the year. So I know that because during the season, to make multiple videos a day, to work on flockfantasy.com, and to do those 4 to 5 hour streams, do that 7 days a week. Realistically, it's minimum 12 hours a day, absolute minimum. 7 days a week. So almost pushing 100 hours a week, which good for me. I work from home, so I just have to walk out of bed, come sit here and start. But I'm not going to be able to do it forever. I keep on telling myself this is maybe the last year. This is maybe the last year, but this is feeling like the last year. This is feeling like those live Q&As. They got to go soon. We'll take Rome. Set ourselves up with the ability to get the Caleb stack. But we'll see if I can keep up the stamina during the season. I'm sure once the season gets here, I'm going to get so excited that we actually have football games that I'll get that jolt of energy. And the thing is, I'm locked and loaded. I have to stream every single night during the year now, because with everybody that has bought the season pass, and use code FLOCK, they all have 4 free questions from me in the live streams this season. So I already sold a bunch of questions that I got to answer during the streams this year. So no matter if I'm tired today or not, we got to be grinding. Now, we just got a new update with the Justin Jefferson hamstring. Justin Jefferson on the hamstring injury. It's coming along just every single day, just working on it, working on the strength, working on the mobility. I'm feeling pretty good right now, just inching my way every single day. So, again, since we've been dealing with the hamstring injury for Jefferson, I have moved him down to pick 6 in my rankings. I still don't think I could take McCaffrey, Brian Thomas, Puka, Nico, Achane, Neighbors over him. But I don't think I can take Jefferson over like Barkley, Lamb, Gibbs, Bijan, or Chase now. So he's, in my opinion, fairly priced with this team getting him at 6. Rodney, welcome to being a mother flock. Always happy to have you. Okay. A Robles says, are you ever taking a player to prevent somebody else from getting an elite stack? No. Let's look at this real quick. If you're in like a flock tournament, there are 4,800 teams drafted. 4,800. If you're trying to turn $10 into 10,000, what do you need to be optimizing for? You need to be optimizing for making your team the best it possibly can be. The second that you go through and go, oh, I'm going to make this decision to just take this stack from this other roster, like, what does that accomplish? You, out of the 4,400 teams, you hurt one other one while maybe hurting yours as well. So we're going to take Sam Laporta. We already have 4 wide receivers, so I feel pretty confident. And also at the same time, since we took Josh Allen, I would like to get the Khalil Shakir stack, which looks very possible at pick 88. So I think there's a chance that we get a wide receiver the next round. So, yeah, I would never go out there and like intentionally try to hurt somebody else's team. Like, let's go through the hypothetical. Hypothetically, you blocking somebody on their stack, you trying to sabotage their draft. If it made their team 50% worse, like it completely killed their team, but it made your team 1% worse, the benefit that you get from making that other team 50% worse is less than the 1% pain that it causes you in a tournament with 4,400 people. So do not do that, please. So Travis Kelce goes, Jaden Higgins off the board. We will take Khalil Shakir as our wide receiver 5, and we'll get him stacked up with Josh Allen. Electric says, I think the only time that's viable is in the Eliminator tournament when you need to beat 5 other people to move on. No, it's not viable there either. It's the Eliminator tournament. There are 100,000 teams drafted. You're not just trying to get past round 1. You're trying to get to the very end. So, please, in your drafts, whether it's a redraft team, an underdog draft, whatever it is, focus in on making your team the best it can be, and don't focus in on trying to sabotage other teams in your draft. So TJ Hawkinson off the board at 94. We have a very strong team. Derrick Henry is our anchor RB. Wide receiver, we have Puka, Mike Evans, Waddle, wide receiver 3, Rome, wide receiver 4, and Khalil Shakir, wide receiver 5. Quarterback, we have Josh Allen and Sam Laporta at tight end. So I really like the squad. Patch Me says, what's the best way to put your rankings on your draft sheets in order? So if you're looking at a draft sheet, there are a couple different ways that you can go about this, right? So like say you're looking at the 10-team PPR, Start 7 ESPN. How this sheet is ordered is with the power, with power ranking just kind of tells you. It's ordered by the ADP plus average ranking. So it's my ranking of the player and the platform ADP that you're drafting on is determining the power order for your draft, knowing that platforms will maybe value positions a little bit differently. And at the same time, like there are some pretty glaring examples of like Egbuka, you can tell, has an ADP of pick 128 on ESPN. However, I have him ranked at 81. So on the power ranking, he's 94. So it's like, I'm still going to make sure that you are getting him well ahead of ESPN ADP, but you don't need to necessarily take him at 81. Now, if you wanted to just sort it by my rankings, you can just copy and paste. Oh, we're going to take Joe Mixon here, pick 105. Unbelievable value. No brainer. But if you wanted to just sort it by column F, just copy and paste the draft sheet into your own little Google sheet and then highlight the row, right click on your mouse and hit sort by column F. And yeah, it looks like Underdog has the new pictures loaded in, which if Underdog's getting the new picks loaded in, I'll message the devs and get them loaded in on flockfantasy.com. Looks like it's not with all the players yet, but Evan Ingram has a new photo. Kelsey's photo's old. Shahid's an old photo. Cup has a new one. Joshua Palmer has a new one. Keon has an old one. Jordan Mason has a new one. It looks like they just updated the photos from the players that changed teams. Yeah. But appreciate you, my guy. I hope that explanation made sense. And again, with those draft sheets, I didn't want to just give you my rankings for every platform and that's it. I wanted to make sure that like you actually had that valuable in order list to be like, oh, okay, this is kind of how I should be looking at the big board. Trent says Tony Pollard changed. Yeah, and Ridley. It just looked like the Titans had their jerseys changed. Because Ridley's changed too. Luther Burden goes, we are back on the clock. I'm going to take Travis Etienne. I completely understand that everybody's worried about Tank Bigsby being the starting running back, but it is what it is. I'll take Travis Etienne to pick 112. So now running back, we have Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Travis Etienne, the old crusty guys. Wide receiver, we have Puka, Evans, Waddle, Rome, Shakir. Quarterback, we have Allen stacked with Shakir, and we have Sam Laporta at tight end. King Rube's asking if that's a new Chase Brown photo. Let me see what the photo is on our site. Chase Brown. Yeah, so this is the photo on our site. Underdogs is different, so I'm assuming Underdogs is the new one because we definitely have not updated ours. Rock Bottom says, I never pay attention to what other people are doing, so unfortunately I probably mess up other people's stacks because I grab the players that I think are best for me, which is 100% what you should be doing. Like, there's no reason in your fantasy draft to try to make sure somebody else has a good team, right? But at the same time, you shouldn't be going out of your way trying to make them have a bad team. In my opinion, you should be doing the only focus in your draft is how do I get the best team possible? Not focusing on what anybody else is doing. The only time I'll ever focus in on what anybody else is doing is say like I'm at pick 10 in the flock league, right? And then I'm determining like, oh, here at pick 130, do I take a quarterback? I'll look at the two teams after me and go, do they have quarterbacks? If they do, then I'll probably pass on them, expecting that I can get it on the way back around, right? So I'll make sure I'm still looking at what other teams are doing, but not for the purpose of trying to mess them up or trying to give them a good team, but for the purpose of just trying to predict what they're going to do. And hopefully that leads to me having a better team. Okay, Jake Ferguson goes, Trey Ayers, big time faller. We can go with Goff just for the points. We can go Ramondre for the advancement. We're going to go Goff just for the points. You have to have the most points in your 12-team draft to advance to the playoff tournament, where week 15, week 16, you only have to play against one other person. So stacking in the flock tournament is still going to matter on Underdog, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to be as important as it would be in those larger field contests. And never mind, we have Goff and Laporta, so I apologize. This was the correct pick all along, and clearly I know exactly what I'm doing. And whenever I win the flock tournament next year and I win the 10K, and I go back and look at this live stream and have a reaction to it, I will going to have to scrub out any part of me saying that I did not have a stack here with Goff and pretend that I knew exactly what I was doing. Trey Harris goes 131. Oh, it would have been devastating if I passed on Goff, knowing that we have Laporta now. So he was just objectively the best player on the board. But since we have Josh Allen and Jared Goff, we're not taking another quarterback the rest of the way. So we'll see what happens. Okay, and also in that $250 draft, there are 2 spots open. So once that fills, we'll go over into the $250 draft. Kikua says, what does the winner in the flock league get? You will see in the videos next week. Marvin Mims goes 134. Ramondre off. Oh, dear God. I'm going to take who I perceive to be the best player on this. In this round, which is Dallas Goedert. So we'll just lock him in. Whopper says, when you won 150K, do you remember which stream you drafted the team? So the 150,000 that I won was across multiple tournaments. So I actually won 2 tournaments that year. Then I got 16th place in Basketball Mania for 10K. So the tournament that I drafted where I won 100,000, that team was actually live streamed, which yes, we went back and we looked and reacted to it. And then the other tournament that I won 20,000 in, That wasn't live streamed. Funny enough, I was actually on an Alaskan cruise, and it was a slow draft, which is like one of those drafts on Underdog where the picks are 8-hour timers. But whenever I got home, I made a video saying like, oh, look at this team I just drafted. I think it's pretty good. And so you can actually see the video of me breaking down the draft the season before it won, like before the season started, like right after it. Sight in says, who's the last person you would want to win the Flock League? Now, that is a phenomenal question. And I think y'all know the answer. It's Avery. That would be horrendous. JV says, hey, Mason, did you go to university? Yes, I went to the University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns. Got 2 degrees, which I used neither one. So that is great. Quentin Johnston off the board of 147. But to be fair, I did start the YouTube channel when I was at UT. And butterfly effects probably means that I wouldn't have done the YouTube channel if I didn't go to UT. Okay, Javante goes. I know nobody wants Hollywood. He's not practicing. We'll take Dylan Sampson. At least get some youth in this running back room. We got Derrick Henry drafted 2016, Joe Mixon 2017, Etienne 2021, but Etienne stayed 4 years at Clemson, so he's actually older than you'd assume he is. Joe says, what was your degree in? I have 1 degree in biology from the College of Natural Sciences, and then I have 1 degree in exercise science from the College of Education. So, backstory of that, went to UT, wanted to go to medical school, and get into medical school is like, what's a good idea to make myself stand out? Went, let's get another degree while I'm here, and went to the people that know what they're doing, like the advisors, whatever the hell they're called. Went, hey, what's another degree I can add to this? That doesn't, I still wanted to graduate, obviously, on time. They went, if you do exercise science, you only have to take, like, there's this much overlap and you only have to take this many additional classes. So we did that. And then also I was like, if I don't go to medical school, I'll go to physical therapy school, be a physical therapist. And then senior year, or the summer going into senior year, YouTube took off and I went, okay, well, looks like that all went out the window. Leggett goes, I probably take Algier. Let me just think. Yeah, we're going to go Tyler Algier as our RB5. And we're probably going to be done at RB5. Okay. Well, there's still one more spot open in that $250 draft. And let's see. So 9, we have Puka, Evans, Waddle, Rome, Shakir at wide receiver. Running back, Derrick Henry, Joe Mixon, Travis Etienne, Dylan Sampson, Tyler Algier. Quarterback, Josh Allen, Jared Goff. Allen stacked with Shakir. Goff stacked with Laporta. And then at tight end, we have Sam Laporta and Dallas Goedert. Okay. Dr. Dodd would be a good name. Creature says, who is the Browns RB1? If you're talking about week 1 of the season, the RB1 more likely than not is going to be Jerome Ford. Jerome Ford's going to be the starter to open up the year. Now, with that being said, am I super confident he's going to have the starting job the entire time? Probably not. Realistically, you're probably going to be looking at Dylan Sampson and or Quinshon Judkins taking over at some point. And the $250 draft just filled. Let me go ahead and swing this around. And I need to get some energy because I got to freaking... We get pick 1 in the $250 draft, and we got to draft against Nolan. Let's move this over. But we're having like a little Happy Gilmore party at the house tonight, which is why we're doing a early stream here. And people are coming over in like 2 hours, and I'm tired as hell. Dan says, do I have to pay access to get to the Flock redraft mocks? No, they're free. You don't need the season pass. Yeah, I watched Happy Gilmore 2 last night, and it was great. I honestly had obviously the lady had told me about all the cameos and like all the people that she met. And I thought that having that many cameos was going to take away from it, and I wasn't going to like it because of all the cameos. But honestly, it worked well. Like, there were so many, and nobody was like, oh, they're such a bad actor or whatever. Like, I thought Travis Kelce was really good in it, to be honest. And it's not like I'm the biggest Travis Kelce fan in the world, but I thought Travis Kelce was very good in it. I wouldn't be able to tell you one Bad Bunny song, but I thought Bad Bunny was really good in it. Like, I don't know if there was, I don't even know how to say this. I don't know if there was like a bad cameo. Like, if there was a cameo in it where it's like, oh, this person's such a bad actor, it takes me out of it. So when we take Chase, I think we will get a little fun. Let me look at the advancement of this tournament. Okay, so here's the tournament structure for the Great Dane. This is really my first time looking at this. $250 buy-in, $120,000 prize pool, $20K to first, $16K to second, $10K to third, $7,500 to fourth, $5,000 to fifth. So pretty flat payout structure. So it looks like 4 teams in this 12-team draft will make the playoffs. Week 15, you have to go up against 7 other people. The 2 highest scoring teams will advance to week 16, where you'll have to go up against 3 other people, where then you'll advance to week 17 with an 11-person final. So definitely a smaller field contest. Definitely one where we don't need to chase the highest ceiling possible. And at the same time, if 4 teams are going to advance, we actually may have the flexibility to be able to take some of these guys like Rashee Rice, Jordan Addison, Chris Godwin, Brandon Ayuk, that won't give you points at the beginning of the year, but can crush in the final 3 weeks. Okay. QS says, did the lady meet Bad Bunny or Kelsey? Yeah, she met them all. I couldn't even tell that, I knew Eminem was in the movie because she met him, but I couldn't even tell who Eminem was whenever, he was actually on. She had to tell me. King says, is Hunter going to play in the preseason today? I think he should. I think reports are saying that Travis Hunter is going to play on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. And yes, Bucky goes early in this draft. Jake says, how does the super message feature work on your website? And how long does it usually take for a response? Okay. A couple different things here. I'll get back to that question in just 1 second. Trey McBride goes pick 22. Jonathan Taylor off the board. I will take Josh Jacobs and maybe Josh Allen, or do we want Lamar? We'll take Allen. Okay, so let me explain this real quick. So flockfantasy.com, obviously you can go through, you can purchase a team review, trade questions, super message, whatever you want. And then during the season, there'll be a start set question here as well. And if you bought the 2025 season pass, you'll have multiple free trade questions and multiple free start set questions that you can ask me. So what happens is if you purchase one of these questions, it gets sent to me. Let me pull it up how it looks on my end. So here's me pulling up stream mode. And this is what we're going to be doing on the live stream every single night. Is you can go through and you can see some people have sent me some questions over the past few days. So this is a trade question that somebody has sent me. This is a dynasty trade question where they've asked, should I trade Puka and get back Bucky and Ted? So what I'll do is I'll go live. I will answer these questions in order. And whenever I answer the question, there's this button at the bottom right of the site, and obviously y'all don't have access to this. This is creators only. I hit next question, and then it sends the YouTube live stream link to whoever asked that question. And what it does as well is it timestamps the link. So if you were in, say, I answered your question 4 hours into a 6-hour live stream. I answered it like 4 hours and 1 minute in. You would click the link and it would automatically take you to 4 hours and 1 minute in. So that's how it's going to work during the season where we're doing those streams every single night. And during the season, it's super fast turnaround time. It's like you ask a question in a stream and I'll get to it that stream. Right now, just because we're doing the draft streams instead, it's a little harder for me to get to them. Dr. G says, please answer mine though. Dynasty King God. All right, let's get to yours right now, my friend. And let's see this. Dynasty King God. I see it right here. Trade question. Perfect. This is Caleb versus Terry. This is going to be a dynasty league. Let's check out the squads. If we are trading away Caleb, we will have Brian Robinson, Achan, Hampton, Judkins, Henderson. We have an insane running back room left over. And wide receiver, we have Downs, Olave, Igbuka, Pickens, Nico. So definitely we're better at running back than we are wide receiver. But from a dynasty perspective, I'd still prefer Caleb Johnson over Terry McLaurin. So I wouldn't do this if you could maybe get like a second round pick on top of it. Then at that point, we'd go ahead and make that swap. But straight up, no, I think you need more value than just Terry McLaurin. Obviously, redraft, that would be a different answer. But that was the dynasty league. Okay. Sutton goes 45. Jamison goes 46. Shirai off. We'll take, honestly, this is going to be an easy pick. We'll go with James Cook, monopolize all the Buffalo touchdowns, and we will go with DK Metcalf as well. Anthum says, when is the Flock League draft? The Flock League draft is going to be not this. It's exactly 1 week from today. Everybody's flying in on Wednesday. We determine draft order on Thursday. And we get to draft on Saturday. Jake says, if I do it, will I get an answer back in less than 4 days? If you ask me, if not a team review, because a team review takes me too long, I can't guarantee that. But if you submit a super chat or a trade question on the site and you are in this live stream, just let me know. Go, hey, I just sent a question from this person. I'll answer it for you immediately. Kikua says Metcalf over Smith. Yeah, I mean, you know I do have a ridiculous amount of Devonta Smith. And Smith only makes it to Jalen Hurts here. That team gets sniped 1 pick ahead of him. And that's actually Vinny. Vinny would have been sitting with St. Brown, A.J. Brown, Kyron, Hurts, and Devonta Smith if he didn't get stacked. I'm sorry if he didn't get sniped. Anthony says, will we ever get an app that links my draft board? I don't exactly know what you mean by that. Like, flockfantasy.com links your league. Here's like a dynasty league as an example. If you go to the My Teams page, you can go ahead and hit add new. You can add a sleeper, ESPN, or Yahoo league. That's what you're asking. Yeah, Vinny. That is brutal. If you would have got Devonta Smith, your team would have been nasty. Debo Samuel off at 61. And we have a lot of flexibility with the squad. Chase, Metcalf at receiver. Jacobs, James Cook at running back. Josh Allen at QB. And I'm definitely playing catch up with our elite quarterback exposure. Because I've been taking Josh Allen. I've been taking Lamar Jackson around 3 a lot as of late. Really over the past month, I've been doing it. Just because if we look at the other like wide receivers, running backs that go off the board in round 3, I don't necessarily know how excited I am about like drafting Garrett Wilson there, drafting Tyreek, drafting Marvin Harrison. Jess says, does flockfantasy.com have a fantasy game as well as just for advice? Oh, it's just for advice. You can't play your actual fantasy football league on flockfantasy.com. You can do like mock drafts. Like public mock drafts if you want, but not your actual fantasy league. Okay, Buka goes 67. Myers goes 68. Burrow off. So Burrow goes to the Higgins team. That's the expectation. When we're sitting here with Jamar Chase, we're not stressing about it either. We're going to take Addison again. When we looked at the structure of this, 4 teams are going to make the playoffs. So I think we're allowed to take these players that aren't going to produce at the beginning of the year. We'll go Addison and Caleb Johnson. NBK, yes. Underdog drafts are best ball. This is Underdog right here. Jake says, just sent the question, username Jake Cook 05. All right, let me check this out for you. I think another reason I'm tired is I told y'all I went and ran with that like super fast guy on Thursday for my long run. And it zapped me. Like I didn't work out at all yesterday, mainly because I was having to do all the draft guide stuff. But like I tried to go run today and I was going to do 13 and I made it 4. And I was like, I literally can't do this, which has not happened in months, I think. But Jake says, how does the strategy change in a 14-team league? Less value later, so early tight end feels bad. Not sure about early quarterbacks. That is 100% true. So I actually made a video titled something obnoxious like, the draft strategy experts don't know. And a big thing that we looked at was just the positional drop-off that you're going to have in the value over replacement based off the amount of teams that are in your league. And the more teams that are in your league, the tougher it's going to be to find those running backs. The tougher it's going to be to find those wide receivers. So those onesies are going to fall, tight end especially, because if we are going to look at the tight end position, naturally there is a super flat like list of tight end 13 through tight end like 26. Where if you're in like a 10-team league, it's like, okay, well, you don't want to be in that flat range at all. And you definitely can afford to go get an elite guy because there are going to be so many viable running backs and wide receivers. But in a 14-team format in comparison, no, you may be in a spot where you're just completely boxed out at running back if you take Bowers. So obviously 14-team league, your team's going to have to be weaker somewhere. And I think tight end is a perfectly fine position to punt. Now, obviously, if you get Brock Bowers like pick 24 or something, you just got to take him. Quarterback's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be dependent on your league because the thing with quarterback is there are only 32 starters. So if you know your league mates and you know, hey, they're all going to take at least 2 quarterbacks. They're all going to draft. I mean, they're going to take Lamar Jackson and then they're going to get a backup. They're going to take Josh Allen, then they're going to get a backup. There may just not be any viable streaming quarterbacks in a 14-team league. Whereas obviously in like a 10-team league, there are a ton of viable streamers. So I agree, 14-team league, you for sure want to punt tight end. You probably need to grab a running back early, especially. I don't know if you're going to be able to go 0 RB just because the replacement level running back off the waiver wire is going to be much weaker. And I can't tell you that you can punt quarterback because I just don't know how your league mates are going to value them in that setup. So, but I definitely stand by the idea. Yeah, you want to be punting tight end. Okay. Bo Nix, Jalen Warren, both go. Kyler's not going to be in play for us. Cup goes, I'll take Keon Coleman and then probably Kelsey. Like Kelsey, He gets a bump. If Rashee Rice is out at the beginning of the year, we should assume that Kelsey's viable somewhat. Zeke says he has his yearly 20-team draft coming up, and I'm dreading it. That sounds brutal. That sounds brutal, my friend. Kevin says, Mason, did you show how far your contest got for last year, or do you just tell us randomly during the year? So I tweet out every year, like screenshots of our advancement on Underdog. Every year we've had super strong results when it comes to advancing teams. Sadly, not every year do we win tournaments, but if you look at the math of winning tournaments, pretty much impossible to do it regularly. It's almost impossible to just win one, let alone two. So let me see if I can find a screenshot from like last year. So I think this is week 16. Here's week 16. Bunch of teams still in it. Week 17. One thing that's cool as well is we advanced 41 teams to the sprint last year, which I can't find. I'm going to keep saying until somebody proves me wrong, but we advanced more teams in the sprint than any other person on Underdog. Great advance rates across the board as well. We got a team to the BBM finals. See if I can find the team. Yeah, this was the squad. Lamar Herbert, quarterback. Running back, Bijan, James Cook, James Conner, Ramadre, Will Shipley. Wide receiver, Nico, Zay Flowers, Keenan, Hopkins, Lockett, Polk, Thielen, DJ Chark. Tight end, Frymuth, Likely, Jawan Johnson. So we really, really needed is a massive Lamar, Flowers, Nico, Christmas game. In case you haven't heard the story 1,000 times, I just sat there all Christmas morning telling everybody in my family, my extended family, we have to watch the Ravens and Texans game. I could win millions of dollars. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Explaining to them how hard it is to get to a team to the BBM finals. And then I am a literal psychopath with mental issues. So of course I convince myself that I have the team of destiny and I'm going to win the league. And of course, it does not happen and my Christmas is ruined. I'm literally sitting there all week just somehow in my mind have straight up convinced myself that I'm guaranteed to win millions of dollars. Okay, we're going to take Loveland, and then I think we will just go ahead and grab a quarterback unstacked just for the advancement. We'll take Justin Herbert here. A much smaller field contest. Stacks definitely matter, don't get me wrong, but they're not everything that the way they would be in a Puppy or Best Ball Mania team. So now quarterback, we have Josh Allen stacked with Keon Coleman. We have Justin Herbert unstacked. Wide receiver, we have Chase, Metcalf, Addison, Keon. Running back, Josh Jacobs, James Cook, Caleb Johnson. Tight end, we have Travis Kelce and Loveland. Bryce says, Underdog copied flockfantasy.com with the new look. Draft boards are definitely similar. I would not say that they copied, though. There are many draft boards that look like, that have the photos of them. Okay. Kikua says, does Njoku jump a peg if Shedeur ends up being QB1 now? If Shedeur ended up being QB1 and sportsbooks all of a sudden went like, oh crap, we got to project the Browns to not be the lowest scoring offense in the league by a wide margin, then yeah, I would say that we probably need to go ahead and we probably need to move up David Njoku. But here's my guess. My guess, if Shedeur ends up being QB1, sportsbooks would not change their stance of the Browns being the lowest scoring offense in the league. I'd imagine that would still kind of be the case. Okay, Stroud goes 131. Crableg Stevenson says, is it okay if I wait until the 410 to take my wide receiver one? In an underdog draft, probably not. And your regular redraft league is going to depend on the format. And again, it's very difficult for me to answer questions like that because it is so specific to your exact fantasy football league on if you'd be able to get away with something like that. So please, if you have access to the draft sheets, just make sure you're using the draft sheets because that will be making the adjustments for your league settings. Alex says PPR public mock on flogfantasy.com is 5 spots open. Go ahead. Jump in it, ladies. Okay, Michael Penix goes, so we have a couple teams here going with that 3 quarterback build. So I actually feel a little bit better about our decision to take Justin Herbert where we did. Joshua Palmer off the board at pick 139. Dylan Sampson goes 140. So Dylan Sampson officially going ahead of Quinshon Judkins here. Buying the dip on Quinshon Judkins has been one of the worst mistakes of my entire life. I'll admit it. At least so far. I'm in a spot now where Quinshon Judkins is one of my most drafted running backs, and dear God. You don't feel good about yourself when you're having to root for Quinshon Judkins to be able to play football games. We're going to take Trey Harris, stack him up with Justin Herbert. Y'all know I haven't drafted much Trey Harris at all, but here we get him 30 picks after ADP, and we have Justin Herbert unstacked. And, oh, dear God. I hate drafting scared. Drafting scared doesn't win you these tournaments. But I have already taken too much Judkins. And what sucks is I wish I wouldn't have bought the dip initially so I could be buying it now. But it's like, am I trying to make him my most invested in 2 player? That seems like a recipe for disaster. And QJ is crying in the corner. But Juicy J says, worse than Trey Lance, ? Funny enough, I really didn't lose money drafting Trey Lance. Don't get me wrong, I lost some. But our take with Lance is his rookie season. We were high on him, and we ranked him over Justin Fields in Dynasty rookie drafts under the premise he has a much better situation in San Fran, just as much rushing upside, and he got better NFL draft capital. But the amount of dollars that we have in Dynasty leagues, so much lower than what we have in Underdog basketball drafts. And then obviously we weren't really drafting him. The time we went really heavy on Trey Lance in Underdog basketball drafts was going into the 3rd season after the Brock Purdy breakout. Because he was like going in around 18, and we, before the announcement of like, hey, Brock Purdy's the clear starter, we were taking him a lot in the final 3 rounds, and we had like 20% of him in the first month of the offseason. But again, the first month of the offseason, we didn't do any high stakes drafts. We never do. It's just like the $5 drafts where you get some practice. So, horrible call. Don't get me wrong. But in year 2, when he got injured and everybody was all in on him, because if y'all remember, he was going crazy high in year 2. I really didn't go that overweight Trey Lance, specifically in underdog drafts, just because his price was already so high. So in terms of like dollars that something's going to cost me, I've taken Quinshon Judkins in multiple $500 drafts, much higher than he's still available right now. And is he still available? Yeah, I quote unquote bought the dip, and I was taking this dude to like pick 120 in $500 drafts. And now we're about to see him go pick 170. So Judkins cost me a hell of a lot more money than Lance ever did. So far, we'll see what happens. Obviously, it's way too early to know. Ford goes 166. Oh, dear Oh my gosh. Oh. I'm going to have to sit here and think. I hate drafting scared. I hate doing it. You don't win tournaments by drafting scared. Jalen Wright could easily be a 0. Deonta Thornton could easily be a 0. We're gonna freaking, I guess this is the Quinshon Judkins season. I'm gonna cry. We'll do it. I know maybe Wan'Dale Robinson should have been the pick. I understand. I know I'm an idiot. You don't need to tell me twice. I get it. But we're going to draft as if there's not a 100% probability he doesn't play this season. I'm going to draft as if there's a real shot he's a 0 for us. But at the same time, maybe there's a 20% chance he plays and he really makes a difference given his talent. And if you look at everybody else going in this round, what are the odds that Deonta Thornton makes a difference for you? Is it higher than 20%? I don't know. So, can be an absolute 0. Terrifying, but again, we've drafted terrifying players before and it's won us tournaments. Jalen Wright goes to pick 180. Desire Best says the Najee fall is getting crazy. It looks like he may get cut. I wish I believed the Najee Harris rumors before like Shefty said anything about it. I wish I would have just gone all in like that, like 2-week stretch where they were just rumors and drafting all the Amari and Hampton I could. But if you remember, like right when that first came out, we had like a little news, like a local news clip saying that Najee Harris was injured an eye in a fireworks accident. But we didn't get anything like legitimate for quite some time. We kind of have to just take 2 wide receivers here. Wide receiver, we have Chase, Metcalf, Addison, Keon, Trey Harris. So I think we're probably going to have to draft 8 wide receivers with this team. The very minimum, we have to take 7. Sir Alexander says Amari and Hampton's my most drafted running back. You missed the boat, Mason. Is it just me or like, has this offseason felt so much more like a roller coaster than especially last year did? Like last offseason was so boring in comparison to this one. So many things have changed. I feel like we just get constant updates from 100 different directions. Michael Wilson's always who I take here at receiver. Outside of Michael Wilson, we'll take Dimey Brown. Yeah, I guess the only thing going on last year was the Ayuk contract stuff. But that's like one player with a contract issue. Whereas this year we're sitting with James Cook and Terry McLaurin with the contract stuff. Plus you get Najee Harris with one eyeball. Plus you got Judkins not even getting signed to his team. Like the coaching staff changes are bigger this year. I think it's hard to say. That like the last offseason, I feel like we had this much going on and like this much excitement was maybe when Tyreek was traded to Miami and Adams was traded to the Raiders. So it was about the same time period now. Like there was that one offseason where Tyreek got sent to Miami when we had all those massive trades. Shedeur Sanders goes at pick 202. I don't know if I will take Shedeur Sanders in a single draft. Actually, let me say this with confidence. I know for a fact I will not take Shedeur Sanders once. Like, who am I kidding myself? Why would I gotta pretend like I would ever consider it? Spencer, what the hell happened with this team at 10? They waited to take Lawrence as their first QB. Yeah, you're there at 159. You can't take Keenan. You have to get one of the last few starters. So you see them go Shedeur Sanders and Spencer Rattler with their last two picks. Like in this team at 3 is Roman Wilson and Joe. I'm sorry, not Roman Wilson. Has Russell Wilson and Joe Burrow. So I don't love our team by any stretch of the imagination, but I feel like in comparison to some other squads here, it's just fine. And then we're going to take a wide receiver with this last pick. That's what we have. Like Trey, we have Keon wide receiver 4, Trey Harris wide receiver 5, Michael Wilson wide receiver 6, Diamond Brown wide receiver 7. Not enough in a best ball tournament. Do we go L.A.K. Manor or we're not doing that? We're going to take Jack Bash, who I know is not a starter with the Raiders right now. We got the round 2 NFL draft capital, round 18 pick. F it, we'll take him. But usually we do 3 drafts on the live stream. However, I got to help the lady clean up the house a bit before everybody comes over. So we're probably going to call it here. Obviously, we'll be streaming drafts tomorrow night, the night after, the night after, the night after, the night after, and the night after. We're going to be streaming drafts every single day until the season gets here. Then we'll be answering fantasy football questions during the season. God, I'm tired. I hope I have more energy tomorrow, and I have no idea how the hell I'm going to be doing 5-hour streams every night during the season, but we'll figure it out together. And again, just in case you did not see, we updated all the draft sheets. If you're a paid member of flockfantasy.com, go to the draft guide section and you'll just access them the same way that you always have. If you use promo code FLOCK on Underdog Fantasy and made a $10 deposit, check the email address you signed up to Underdog Fantasy with, and the draft sheets should be sitting there in your email. Spent all day yesterday updating those, so definitely want you to be using the most up-to-date ones. But I really appreciate you and really hope we get to see you out in the live stream tomorrow night, and really hope that we have some fun preseason games.